I think Mitt Romney sounded like a president in his statement today. We're back with Dinesh D'Souza, creator of the movie 2016 Obama's America, and Frank Gaffney, the founder of the Center for Security Policy, and he's back with us from Washington, D.C. They hate your movie. They really hate your movie, don't they?
Well, they were lying low for a while, and I think they thought, look, we'll hope that the snowball begins to melt and the movie will go away. But, of course, the movie has been gathering snow, and it's now in 2,000 theaters. Lots of independents are going to see it. So they've gotten nervous, and they've come out swinging, and they keep claiming the movie is so inaccurate and so on. But, of course, their claims are ridiculous. The facts of the movie are holding up really well, but it's good to see the Obama people running scared. So this was on BarackObama.com, a big attack on the film.
Well, it's funny that if he didn't want people talking about this stuff, he shouldn't have wrote about it in a couple of books. I mean, isn't most of the stuff from his books?
Well, the most incriminating parts of the film are at critical points in the film. We play Obama's own voice, and people wonder, well, is this really true? Does Obama really believe that? And then you see Obama saying it. And you're like, well, I guess it's from the horse's mouth. It has to be true.
Frank, I got to ask you a question here. I know the president is on the campaign trail. He's got to make TV appearances. But snubbing Netanyahu, from a security standpoint, what does that say to the rest of the world when he won't meet with our strategic ally in the region?
Unfortunately, this isn't an isolated incident, and what's happening to Bibi Netanyahu at this particular moment is just the latest and in some ways the most outrageous of the myriad steps that Obama has taken to demean him, to treat him with contempt, to distance the United States from Israel. And you asked the right question. What is this likely to translate into? And I would argue two things. One, it is signaling to every enemy of freedom, most especially Israel's enemies immediately around it and a little further removed, like Iran, that it's open season on Israel. Because the thing that has been absolutely bankable, at least since 1973, is the United States is going to back Israel. And there will be no benefit to anybody who tries to attack Israel in a sort of existential threat kind of way. That's changing. What that means is, I think it invites war against Israel. And I'm not talking about a war like, Afghanistan counterinsurgency strategies. I'm talking about an old-fashioned, horrific, regional, and possibly broader conflict. The second thing it says, I'm afraid, Andrew, is to the Israelis, they're on their own. And in that circumstance, it's just that much more likely that they are going to feel compelled to deal with some of the existential threats that they confront, most especially the incipient nuclear bomb of Iran.
Is this, I was just going to ask you about that. Is this a green light to Iran?
Well, the trouble I have is that we've seen so much telegraphing of a punch against Iran. At some point, my guess is, yes, they are going to be preemptively acting against Israel and quite possibly against us. One of the vulnerabilities that Dinesh talks about very powerfully in the film is we've allowed our deterrent, our military, but most especially our nuclear capabilities to degrade. One of the places that the Iranians seem to be very seriously trying to take their nuclear program is in the direction of something called an electromagnetic pulse capability, a bomb that would be detonated in space over the United States and could literally fry much of our electrical grid, transforming this country in the blink of an eye to a pre-industrial society, one without electricity. It sounds mind-boggling, but we also hear that's the kind of attack the Israelis are contemplating against Iran. Iran could do it to us if they get their hands on this bomb. I fear that's what they have in mind when Ahmadinejad keeps saying a world without America is not only desirable, it's achievable.
I'm still not getting this. All of these people from within, academics, progressives, journalists that think we've had it too good, we need to be knocked down a peg. We need to be brought to the table of the UN and seen only as average. Do they think, and I asked this question in small part in the last segment, where do they think their seat at the table is?
Right, so you've got to look at their reasoning. I mean, if you look at the anti-colonial way of thinking, it's like this. How many bombs do the Muslims have in the Middle East? None. Iran is trying to go from 0 to 1. How many bombs do the Jews have? Quite a few. How many bombs does America have? A lot. And America dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So from a global point of view, where's the threat? From America. So let's work at reducing America's power. Now, here's the point. A lot of conservatives are naive about this. They keep saying, Obama's an amateur, he's a bungler, and they give him long lectures. Hey, Obama, you got to realize Assad is not our friend. The mullahs in Iran are not our friends. If we slash on nuclear weapons, that's not going to inspire the Iranians to... Obama knows all this. The point to make, and I think Frank's on the same page with me here, there's a pattern to what Obama's doing. I mean, he undermines our ally Mubarak in Egypt, but when there were huge anti-regime demonstrations in Iran, he stayed out. Double standard. He went into Libya using force, stopping genocide. But when there are much greater genocide in Syria, he won't use force. So what explains this double standard? What's the single standard behind the double standard? Well, that's why you got to go see the movie. It tells you.
That's the way you promote the film. Leave you hanging. Frank, thank you very much.